Hello and welcome to your instructional tropical aquarium guide. I'm Paul Talbot. I'm going to teach you all little tricks of how to keep a successful tropical aquarium like these ones. No matter what it is you're after, there'll always be something that suits you, whether it be a small aquarium like this one or an even large one like that. What we really want to encourage you to do is learn as much as possible about the animals which you wish to keep, because there really is something that's going to suit you. But having more information about the ones that you select really is the key, because we need to know that some of these fish are going to grow very large, some of them are going to grow quite small, some of them are going to eat plants, other ones are not going to eat plants. So the more requirements we understand about the fish we're keeping, the more likely we're going to have success with them. Now, once upon a time, people would go into the aquarium shops, they would ask various questions, they'd get pretty much the sort of information that they'd need to know, but the problem is we tend to forget. Human memory retention is 20%, which means you go in, you learn pretty much what you need to know, you go out, and then you still wonder why your fish die. We also used to try and sell books to people, but we find that people just don't have the time to read the books, and even if they do read them, once again, they just forget a lot of the information. That's why we produce this series. Now, particularly if you're new to the hobby, I really suggest watching it through several times, because hearing it and seeing it several times over is really going to help you remember it. So really take advantage of some of the beautiful tanks that you're seeing during this program. If you notice any beautiful features which may have been utilized in one of these tanks, use those ideas for your own aquarium. What a lot of people will do, even get dead corals and create an environment which looks very much like a saltwater aquarium with bright yellows, bright blues, bright oranges. Looks very much like a marine aquarium, but it's actually African cichlids. Now, a lot of people will do this. This is very popular if you want that very marine look with gorgeous colors, but you don't want the effort to look after them. Now, I'm going to walk you through all the steps for setting up the aquarium. Everything from filtration, lighting, heating, water parameters, information on breeding these fish. You'll find that you can breed them and grow the young up quite easily, and then you can sell those babies off to the stores. Now, they'll usually want to swap them for a credit. If you swap them for cash, you don't typically get as much for them. But if you swap them for a credit, then you can upgrade the types of fish that you're keeping and broaden your experience with these fish. No matter what size or style of house you've got, you always have room for an aquarium, particularly if you're inventive enough. During the course of this video, you'll see some very interesting aquariums, both set in walls and made of parts of other pieces of furniture. Providing that you're creative, you'll be surprised what ideas you too can come up with. During various phases over the years, aquariums have developed a bit of a reputation as being hard to look after. In general, it's not that they're hard to look after, it really is the lack of information which has been available to people. So I really want you to understand, keeping a fish tank is easy, providing that you have the right information. So it's just like getting in a car and driving the car, and then the car breaks down and you say the car was no good. It's maybe that you didn't have the understanding to put the petrol in the car or to change the spark plugs in the car. So what I'm trying to say, keeping a fish tank is very, very easy to keep, providing you have the information. So you really want to look at what fish you're going to purchase and compare that with how prepared you are to look after them. So if you want a hobby, you want to be involved in your aquarium, you want to be learning about it and actually maintaining it, then these sorts of elaborate planted aquariums really are an option. On the other hand, if you want a piece of furniture, you want something that you can set up and have fish that almost come with a warranty, that almost never die, you're really better off going for fish like the cichlids, which are much longer lived and hardier fish. Now, tetras over the years have given community fish quite a bad reputation, because the tetra in the wild is usually pretty much an annual fish, which means it lives, it grows, it breeds, it dies pretty much within 1 year in the wild. So when people buy them at the aquarium shops, maybe they're 6 months old when they buy them, then they keep that fish for 3 to 6 months, and then they find that most of them are dead, and they're pulling their hair out thinking, well, why do my fish keep dying? This is not a good hobby. When maybe it's just the type of fish they're purchasing. So it is important to understand the lifespan of the fish you're keeping. A lot of your tetras and things live for about a year. In the aquariums, we do hear stories of them living for 2 years or plus, but in general, understand if you're keeping small fish and they're not living for overly long periods of time, maybe that's just the species that you're actually keeping. Then with most of your live bearers, like your platies and your mollies and your guppies, most of those are pretty much biannual fish, which means they'll live about 2 years in the wild. So if in your aquarium they're living 2 or say 3 years, and then they're dying after that, old age really is an issue, especially with these smaller fish. With the very large gouramis and things, you hear stories of them living 12 or 15 years or plus. That just really isn't the case with the smaller fish, because they do tend to be more delicate and their life just isn't as long. But aquarium really is relaxing. It's been said that if you look at the aquarium for 15 minutes a day, you're actually able to lower your stress level by 40%. Not only are they a great pet, but it really is the ultimate piece of furniture too, and it's heaps cheaper than water views. People spend millions of dollars to get a block of land to look at the water, and I say, well, hey, you get a window, you get to look in the water. You really will find that keeping aquariums is a really addictive and contagious hobby. You'll find that when you first get involved in it, you're so excited about it, you don't stop talking about it, and you'll actually get a lot of your friends into it as well. But information is everything. Exchange information with your friends. Talk about, learn about, because you'll find the more you learn about this hobby, the more success you'll have and the more you'll enjoy it. I really encourage that you use the chapters of this guide and try to understand the principles behind each one of those chapters, so it arms you with the information to ensure that you too can have beautiful tropical aquariums like these ones.